Plot summary of The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. In the summer of 1953, Esther Greenwood, a smart college student, wins a month's worth of work at a New York magazine as a guest editor with 10 other girls. Esther lives with the other girls at the Amazon, a hotel for women, and goes to a lot of the magazine's events and parties. Even though Esther knows she should be having fun, she feels numb and disconnected from her old, ambitious self, which is what her boss, editor J.C., tries to get her to do. Esther goes back and forth between wanting to be good like her friend Betsy and breaking all the rules like her friend Doreen. She worries about the strict expectations of virginity, motherhood, and being a wife that society, and her mother, has for young women, and she feels paralyzed by her own conflicting plans for the future. She goes on a string of bad dates, the best of which is a letdown because the interpreter, Constantine, doesn't make any romantic moves, and the worst of which is when the misogynist, Marco, tries to rape her. During her time in New York, Esther has flashbacks to her troubled relationship with Buddy Willard, a handsome medical student who thinks he knows everything. Esther used to like Buddy, but now she finds him disgusting because he pretends to be a virgin even though he's had an affair. Buddy has TB right now, but as soon as he gets better, Esther wants to break up with him. Buddy asked her to marry him on her last trip to the sanatorium, but she turned him down and broke her leg skiing. Esther gets turned down for a writing class she wanted to take near her home near Boston when she gets back home. Esther's mental illness, which started in New York and got worse when she moved to the suburbs, gets worse until she wants to kill herself. She stops taking baths and getting dressed. She tries to write a book but fails, and then she can't sleep, read, write, or eat. She tells everyone she meets a lie about who she is. She goes to see Dr. Gordon, a therapist who doesn't care about her and gives her electric shocks the wrong way. Esther cuts her wrists, hangs herself, and drowns herself in unsuccessful attempts to kill herself before hiding in a crawlspace under her house and taking 50 sleeping pills. Esther is found and saved, and when she comes to, she is in a hospital. When she looks at her horrifying reflection in a mirror, she doesn't know who she is. Soon, Esther is moved to the psychiatric ward of the city hospital, where she is still suicidal, paranoid, and doesn't want to help. Philomena Guinea, a wealthy author who paid for Esther's college scholarship, decides to pay for her to move to a private asylum. There, Esther is treated by the kind Dr. Nolan and has more freedom and comforts than she did in the city hospital. The doctors make plans to stop Esther's constant stream of judgmental visitors, like her mother, whose advice and wrong ideas about depression have been wearing her out. Esther's college friend Joan ends up at the asylum after she tries to kill herself like Esther did. Esther gets better with the help of analysis, insulin injections, and correctly given electric shock therapy. She starts to think about going back to her old life. Esther gets more freedom to come and go from the asylum as her health gets better. She uses this freedom to buy a diaphragm and have a one-night stand with Erwin, a maths professor. Esther has learned to be proud of her independence as a woman with the help of Dr. Nolan. She has also learned to let go of the stifling social expectations that used to hold her back. Even though Esther thought losing her virginity would be a revelation, it turned out to be painful bleeding instead. Later, she finds out that Joan is having an affair with another patient named Dee Dee. This makes her think about lesbianism, which she doesn't like. Soon afterwards, Joan hangs herself. Buddy goes to see Esther at the asylum, and it's the last time Esther sees him. Esther feels stable and is getting ready to go back to college. However, she is aware that her mental illness could come back at any time. The book ends when Esther goes to see the doctors one last time before going back to college.
About the author. Born in 1932, Sylvia Plath grew up on the coast of Massachusetts. When she was 8, her father died. Plath did well in school and got scholarships to go to Smith and Cambridge, where she met and married the poet Ted Hughes. They had 2 kids and a rough marriage. Plath got a lot of praise for her first book of poetry, The Colossus, which came out in 1959. In 1963, she published The Bell Jar under a fake name to make money. Plath had mental illness her whole life, and when her marriage ended, she fell into a deep depression and eventually killed herself in 1963. Several books of Plath's poetry that came out after she died show how smart she was and helped her win a Pulitzer Prize after she was gone. People still read a lot of Plath's work today.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.